COVID vaccines saved hundreds of thousands of lives in the UK during the pandemic, but they also caused harm to some. This week, the Scottish Vaccine Injury Group gave evidence to the UK COVID inquiry for the first time. One member from the Scottish Borders has told this programme that someone should be held accountable for what went wrong. In evidence today, former UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock acknowledged the ill effects, but said the impact of vaccines was overwhelmingly positive. Greg Hoare has more.
Brian Femister says the COVID vaccine ruined his life. The former farmer now struggles to move and suffers with chronic pain. He began feeling unwell after his third dose, and doctors found a blood clot in his brain, roughly the size of this golf ball.
Well, I used to be able to jump off a quad bike, chase about to catch a yow or a lamb, or can't happen. I was completely paralysed. I had to, after so many weeks, be taught how to walk again. My little boy being at the side of my bed when specialists are telling me, oh, I've got a ticking bomb in my head. There should be accountability. People are clearly damaged with this.
We've seen medical documents showing Brian's not fit to work due to what's described as a brain abscess post-COVID vaccine. He's one of more than 700 members of the Scottish Vaccine Injury Group, and like many of them is still waiting for financial support from the government's Vaccine Damage Payment Scheme.
How can you prove you're 60% disabled? The response that I get from group members, overwhelming responses, it's a very traumatic experience to go through.
They also argue the vaccine programme sacrificed safety for speed. But the World Health Organization estimates vaccines saved hundreds of thousands of lives in the UK.
Elements of the vaccine which allow it to enter the body have that potential to cause harm, all right? And that is always going to be a difficult thing, and we should never underestimate the impact that has on individuals. We know that those evidence of those harms are relatively few and need to be balanced against the ability of the vaccine to protect against severe illness and death, which is substantial.
This afternoon, former Health Secretary Matt Hancock acknowledged to the inquiry that some people had been harmed.
You knew there would be cases of adverse reactions.
Yes, of course.
They were known about in the clinical trials.
And measured, yes. The question with the vaccine is whether it is net positive in expectation of taking it.
The pandemic had a huge impact on Lynn Pornaro, who developed long COVID.
I think Scotland did really well in rolling out the vaccine. I think the messaging, though, was we've got a vaccine that will prevent us from catching COVID. I think that message was slightly wrong.
When considering what lessons should be learned, the UK and Scottish COVID inquiries face a tough balance between acknowledging and acting on the harm caused to some by vaccines, while recognising the lives they saved.